Hi everyone, welcome back to the Geterbrewed channel. So today we're in Belgium, in Brouwland, and we're going to look at this cool little product called the Brewferm Brewer. Brewferm Brewer, Brent, is perfect for brewing a bag, whole grain brewing at a low level. So take us through the two options that we have. So we obviously have the ability to use the loiter ton here, and like if Dylan can check that out, you can see it's quite a clever little way of making a basic loiter ton, you know.
Yeah. So there's two different options. As you just mentioned, you have the brew in a bag option.
Yeah.
It has advantages, but also disadvantages. One of the advantages is that you can keep your wort inside of your brewing kettle.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get it inside of the bucket, then sparge it, then get it back in.
Yeah.
It's less cleaning,
Yeah.
less hassle. But sometimes lifting up the grain bag might get heavy.
Yeah.
And also sparging with a grain bag is not that easy.
Yeah.
As if you would use the lauter ton, it's easy to sparge your grains and get a lot of more return on the...
To get all the residual sugars out.
To get all the sugars out.
Yeah.
And,
brewing a bag, let's look at the actual Brewferm kettle. So it's got two heating elements that you can change the power with.
You have the 1800 watts and the 700 watts.
Yeah.
So why is that interesting? Because if you would just blow the full 2500 watts at the same time while meshing, you get the risk of burning.
Yeah.
Especially when crushing very fine.
Yeah.
So your grains will burn on the bottom if you don't stir regularly, or you mill them too fine, or and that's why we gave you the option of just putting the 700 watts element, because it won't burn that heavily, and you will just remain the same temperature all the time.
A little tip, if you're a brewing a bag brewer and you're using this system, I always found when I started off brewing, doing it in this format was your malt is obviously going to be a different temperature to the wort or the water, the liquor, whatever terminology you want to use. So before you put the malt into the water, try and have the water a couple of degrees higher than what your mash temperature is, so that when you submerge the bag with the grains, and the adjustment of the temperature of the malt being added drops the temperature to your desired mash temperature. Basically the way a brewing a bag will work is you put your malt in, and it's infusion. So I can see you have a nice wooden spoon here, plastic beer paddle, you know, mash paddle, whatever you have. Do give it a mix several times throughout the mash. Now, British brewers tend to do single infusion, 60-minute mash at a set temperature, whereas I know a lot of European brewers like to use step mashing.
Yeah, so what European brewers tend to do or like to do is heat while mashing.
Yeah.
And therefore we have this little accessory here.
Okay.
So what you want to do is place it between the elements and the bag.
Okay.
So if you want to heat, the bag won't touch the elements, because if the bag touches the elements, it gets burned.
Yeah.
And so your bag is destroyed, you need to buy a new one, or your brewing session is ruined.
Yeah.
So you might want to use this accessory when you want to heat during mashing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Literally, the brewing a bag, once the 60-minute mash is finished, you take the bag out, obviously slowly allowing the wort to drain out, and then you can use this to bring to a rolling boil. Yeah,
so you have the 2500 watts, which is really sufficient if you want a rolling boil, because you're only talking about a volume of 25 liters, 20 liters you're brewing. So the 2500 watts is plenty.
So once you've got your boil, then you need to obviously cool it before you put it into the fermenter. You have the option of using the chill-in submergible. You have the option of using a counterflow. Or if you're wanting to do it in a budget way, put it into a pot, put it in a bath of cold water and stir it. But that's a slow and...
with this kettle, I would recommend the chill-ins, so the submersible chillers, because it's budget friendly and it's the easiest way to chill your Brewferm brewer. Yeah.
So chill the wort, put the wort into the fermenter and ferment out, and then package as you normally would.
And easy cleaning, because you don't have a pump, you don't have nothing, so you only have to clean out the tap and the elements.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And if you're using then the loiter ton, you're transferring after the mash into the loiter and sparging or are you starting here and then transferring?
No, so what I like to do is meshing in the Brewferm Brewer, and then using a jug or something to scoop out the grains and most of the liquid, transfer it to the lauter tun, and then get the remaining part in there. And then I would leave it for some time to settle down, to get a nice filter bed, and then I would gently sparge without allowing the grains to get dry. So that's important.
You're just sparging with a jug, just gently pouring it over the top.
And then tapping out the excess so your bucket doesn't flow over.
Okay, so gravity fed obviously then would be a good way. So your table say up here and your brewer down here, and then just allowing the liquid to come out of the tap back into the brewer for the boil.
Or I would just tap it off and put it back inside. Most of the time when I had some issues with temperature and I have some things that sat on the bottom, I would clean my Brewferm Brewer whilst waiting for the filter bed to settle. It's just to start off with a clean kettle, get all the residual grains out, just start off with a clean one so you don't have the big hassle of cleaning a really burnt kettle afterwards.
So this is mainly aimed for brewing a bag. That's the idea with it. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that's the Brewferm Brewer. It's a very affordable, easy step into brewing a bag brewing method. Or indeed, as Brent has mentioned, you can add a lauter tun, and it's an acceptable entry budget level way into all grain brewing. If you're thinking of adding pumps and a few extra benefits, then let's go for the Brew Monk. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask, and until next time, happy brewing.